Some studies show that there can be a 300 to 800 calorie drop in daily basal metabolic rate between women with PCOS and those without. So is it true that having PCOS can slow down your metabolism compared to those without PCOS? And if so, what can you do about it? By the end of this video, you'll know the reasons why some women with PCOS have a lower metabolic rate than women without PCOS, how to know if you are one of those with lower than normal metabolic rates, and what to do about it. Hi, Rich and Lucy here, nutritionists at CoachViva.com, the place for analytical thinkers to cut through the noise on where to start and when to level up so that they can transform their bodies and live healthy by default. If you too refuse to settle, hide from the facts, or cave to excuses, then subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every week of new science-backed and practical videos to help you lose fat and gain muscle on your terms. And before we begin, I want to quickly announce that a few spots have opened up for the free one-on-one consultation for our Badass Body Boss program. So make sure you stay until the end of this video for the announcement on that. Now let's get started.
Let's start by covering some reasons why some women with PCOS may have a lower metabolic rate than women without PCOS. Now, to be clear, researchers don't claim to know all of the reasons, but there are essentially two categories of reasons that have been cited. The first category is imbalanced hormones and minerals, and the second is insulin resistance. Let's look at the first one. Why would imbalanced hormones from PCOS lower your metabolism? First, lack of regular ovulation and periods could be causing lower calorie burn, which in turn lowers your BMR. The second reason is lowered BMR could be an adaptation that started in utero, which is an environment of low energy input, and so some female fetuses compensate with increased propensity for body fat storage and decreased energy expenditure. Another reason could be if you suffer from leaky gut or chronic stress, both of which cause chronic inflammation, which leads to disruption of your body from carrying out other metabolic functions in order to help you fight inflammation. Inflammation can also cause leaky gut, which is the condition where your intestines leak food particles into your bloodstream and thus worsen your inflammation. Also, if you're someone who tends to be chronically stressed, then that worsens inflammation as well. And for many of us, food is a self-soothing mechanism when stressed, which often leads to eating more calories than we need. If you use food to self-soothe when stressed, comment below and let me know what your go-to food of choice is. Now let's talk about how insulin resistance can lower your metabolism. Not all women with PCOS have insulin resistance, but many do, which is why we talk about it here. If you want to understand in detail how insulin resistance works, check out this video. But the gist is that insulin rises when blood glucose levels rise. Insulin helps to shuffle glucose and other nutrients from your bloodstream into cells. However, people with insulin resistance need more glucose in the bloodstream, which then causes your insulin levels to rise and then hit a threshold where your cells will open up for the nutrients. This usually leads to two things. First, you'll have more glucose in your bloodstream for longer than someone without insulin resistance. If this buildup is deemed too much, your body more readily stores it as fat than for someone without insulin resistance. The second thing is that your cells still need nutrients, but because insulin didn't get enough nutrients to them, you'll end up feeling hungry while storing more fat than someone without insulin resistance. This usually causes you to eat more food. And if you pick foods high in glucose but low on nutrients, it contributes to the cycle. As we said earlier though, not everyone with PCOS experiences the same symptoms. Up next, Lucy will show you how you can tell whether or not you have a lower than normal metabolism and what to do about it.
In order to tell whether or not you have a lower than average metabolic rate, it will involve a few days of data collection. Find a morning to weigh yourself and to take your waist, hip, and neck circumference measurements. It's important that you do this after you wake up, go to the bathroom, but before eating or drinking anything, and preferably in your underwear. This is because you want to be in the same condition when you take your before measurements as when you'll be taking your after measurements. Once you get your measurements, you want to calculate two things. One, you want to calculate your estimated body fat percentage using the body fat calculator I'm linking in the description below. And two, you want to calculate your theoretical maintenance calories using a calculator, which I also linked in the description below. When it asks you for your activity level, pick sedentary. Now, for the next 1 to 2 weeks, track your calorie intake and try to get as close to your calculated maintenance calories as possible. You can use any app you like or even just track with paper. Don't do any strenuous exercise during these test weeks. Yoga, stretching, walking, and other low-grade activities are perfectly fine though. After 1 week, weigh yourself and take your waist, hip, and neck measurements again under the same conditions as before. That means after waking, before eating or drinking anything, and preferably in your underwear. Then calculate your estimated body fat percentage again using your new measurement data. If you lost body fat percentage, then your maintenance calories appear to actually be above the theoretical maintenance calories for someone your size. That's great. If you gained body fat percentage, then your maintenance calories is below the theoretical maintenance. That means you might have a lower metabolism than others your same size. Now, just to sanity check, I recommend doing this experiment for another week to make sure that the trend is still staying the same. Now, after all of this, what should you do if you're in that latter category of having lower than average metabolic rate? The first thing is that you may not need to do anything to speed up your metabolism. When it comes to energy balance, you can choose to control either the calories in part of the equation, which is eating food, or the calories out part of the equation, which is about energy expenditure, or both. Some people choose only to control the calories in part of the equation. That is, they simply eat lower calories per day. So if you burn 200 calories less per day than someone else your size, but you're perfectly fine with eating 200 calories less per day as well, then it could just work out for you without you having to do anything in the calories out part of the equation. Now, of course, if that means you're going to be starving all day, then it's not enough just to be controlling calories in part of the equation. In that case, you may want to look into boosting the calories out part, which is what people mean when they say boosting metabolism. Now, we created a video here ranking all of the ways known to help boost metabolism. These methods apply to everyone, whether you have PCOS or not. And I'll give you a hint. The biggest booster of metabolism for anyone has nothing to do with either what you eat or what workouts you do. For how to specifically eat better for insulin resistance, check out this video here, where we also provide a list of foods that are best for those with PCOS and insulin resistance. The list of foods are also generally low inflammatory, which is even better since earlier we talked about how inflammation can also contribute to lowered metabolism.
The good news is if you look at this whole picture, you can immediately spot which are the things you have control over. Taking control of some of these helps you with the calories in part of the equation, and controlling the others helps you with the calories out part of the equation. And this overall improves your metabolic rate. In our Badass Body Boss program, we dive in detail into what things to do in what order, to what degree, at which stage of your journey to lose fat efficiently. And as a byproduct, also reverse some of your other PCOS symptoms. The program is built for you if you, 1, value learning in depth the science and psychology behind the entire process, 2, believe that weight loss need not be so complicated, that each method out there works for someone at some stage, and that you just need a clear plan for finding your methods for your stage, and 3, are excited by the idea of working in a collaborative fashion with us to build your own customized, sustainable roadmap to lifelong success. If that's you, good news. A few spots have opened up for a free one-to-one consultation call with us. Note, this is not a coaching call, and that booking a call does not guarantee you'll be admitted into our program. So if you're serious, click on the link in the description below to book a one-to-one consultation call for our Badass Body Boss program. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, and share this video with whoever else you feel could use this information. And be sure to check out these 2 videos to lose fat and gain muscle like a body boss. You can do it.